Test two, test two, test two. Test two. Test two, test two. Well, sound works now. Hey, Jackie. I'm testing. If you want to come up, I'm not really at all savvy of how to do this, so I'm just kind of playing with it. Share. And I've learned that I have no clue how to put the link up properly, so I'm sending it to my hang on, share. Alex, how did I get here? I don't know. I don't know, dude. Okay, so copy. I'm not sure how I got here. Y'all can thank Annie for this. We were talking about certain things earlier, and I'm just testing it out. Can you guys hear me this time? And I'm not sure what happened with that. I know that I streamed on OTW's panel 2 weeks ago, and after a certain time, completely timed out. Nothing was coming from sound. He hadn't muted me, he said. I couldn't unmute myself. There was just no sound. So there's something about me, maybe. Hey, Jackie!
Hey! I'm just gonna set you here while I knit.
Oh, that's so cool. And you know what?
There we go.
I have right here.
Oh, great. This is my spiral.
Yeah, it's not the same pattern, but same colors almost.
It is the same colors. Isn't that crazy?
I know.
I love it.
Even the teal kind of color here.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow. This was gifted to me in 2019.
Awesome.
How are you doing, sweetie? It's our first time cutting this way.
I know. It's great. I'm having a good day. It's a great day.
Yeah. Are you off work or night?
No, I have to go into work at 5 o'clock, so in a few hours.
Right on.
But I was off for a couple days, and I made an appointment. I have a broken tooth back here that's been broken for like 6 months that I've been struggling with, and I finally made an appointment for this Monday to have it pulled, and I am so excited.
Oh.
That's terrible to say, but I'm so excited to because I've had like 3 root canals on it, and it's just nothing but issues with me. And I finally decided I'm just going to get it pulled.
I've had that happen as well, and it was the teeth that root canals, and it's like my teeth are horrible, right? Like horrible. And the way that I see it is like we were part of the experiments, man, right? We're the ones that got the brunt of certain products,
right?
70s and 80s that I'm not saying, or I don't think it's better now per se. It's probably even worse, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the teeth issues for people, like if there's one thing that's like that links us all of a synchronicity, it's the teeth issues for real. And we're all from different places,
right?
So,
and it's such a it's such a hard thing for so many people, and it really affects your whole body. It affects your whole self-image. And it's such a traumatic thing for people to even go because it is painful in a lot of ways. And so you have apprehension and anxiety are surrounding it, the money surrounding it. And I finally have good health insurance again. So I figured, well, I have to do it. I can't put it off anymore. I'm like, I can't.
It's part of the root, like programming.
Yeah.
First of all, of supposed beauty. I've always been a sucker for any teeth imperfections, even as a child.
Yeah.
Um, no teeth or missing teeth. It to me, it's beautiful because I know the background of everything with teeth, right? I get it. And I mean, there's people I know that if they had the work done that they had to have done, they'd be homeless because of just how much it costs, right?
Absolutely.
So, like you're choosing something, it's just
Yeah.
a thing. And the
Well,
more
I'm
the
choosing to be rid of it for
when
once
I
and for
exactly once she's gone, she's gone. And then amplify, even right now, it's on Monday.
yeah.
Amplify your safety, amplify that it's going to go well, that the healing is going to be accelerated, rapid, fast. Because one of the
That
things that tends to happen is infection.
I had in the last tooth I did have pulled back over here years ago. My bangs are the wrong way. I got the dry socket and I had a month worth of the most terrible pain I've ever had my whole life. And it was like 1 month long of being on pain pills, having to go back, have it scraped again. I mean, it was really traumatic. So I'm just trying not to have any negativity put on this appointment coming up, and that it's just going to come out easy. And I'm going to just be so relieved that it's out of my mouth, because I just hate that feeling of something being in my mouth that I know should not be there anymore. And I put it off for so long that I'm just trying to really just think totally positive about it.
Exactly. And I think one of the reasons that's like, boom, like here we are talking about it right now. Michelle just came into the chat. She can attest she had a tooth pulled a couple weeks ago as
Oh, I
well.
remember that.
Yeah. And when we were talking about it on the live stream, first of all, is it's considered just a normal thing to get a tooth worked on, or even anything of a
Yeah.
dentistry. Like just go back to work, just go back to your routine and stuff. And it's like, that makes no sense. You just had a part of you pulled
Ooh,
or worked on a certain way. There's no integration of that trauma, right?
that's
It's
true. I
not
never even thought about it that way, because you're actually, your teeth are actually like part of your skull. It's like part of the you know a very big deep part of you, not just muscle or mass or you know hair, or but it's literally a part of your being,
exactly.
to the core root down to your skeleton.
And when we're not allowed to mourn it or actually feel it, we're told, like, suck it up. Everybody does this.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You just go take another pill for the pain, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You're
it's
right.
not taken seriously. I remember telling somebody of my family, like, years ago, like, are you okay? Like, after she had some stuff done, and do you
Yeah.
want me to come and help, or do you want me to come make supper? And she just like kind of blew me off. Like I was ridiculous, but it was like, to me, this is a big deal. Like I feel that first of all, we should have some a little bit of nurturing and attention, even if it's us that has to give it to ourselves, right? You're alone, you baby yourself, but that other people are aware, right? That this is it's huge.
And along with those lines too, because I remember one time, speaking of just like, things that have to do with your body, like on a spiritual level, is I remember one time one of my relatives had open heart surgery and had the worst time recovering from that. And then I suddenly got in my spirit this really vivid picture in my head of all the different hands that were literally inside her heart and in her cavity, of all, between the nurses, the doctors, the, whatever, just all their energies being inside of your body and then sewed back up.
Uh-huh.
And it
I
just like gave me this really
section.
like,
I know.
yeah,
And I remember my first C-section. It wasn't planned, and it happened so fucking fast that by the time I was being told you're having a C-section, I was like, what? What do you mean? You never warned me,
Yeah.
been here for like a full day in labor and you never warned me. But I remember I was kind of in and out, like spaced out. And at one point, after Samuel was out of me and they were stitching me up, I was like, I want my placenta. I want my placenta. And what are you guys going to do with my blood? What are you going to do with my blood?
Yeah.
They were looking at me like, what do you mean? What are we going to do with your
Like,
blood?
what do you care?
Somebody come and clean it up. No,
Yeah.
you can see your placenta. You're not allowed, type of thing. And I was like, but it's mine. Like, I want to see it. I want to hold it. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I mean? And there was that C-section was the worst of the three because I was alone. It happened so
Mm-hmm.
fast. My husband at the time, he didn't have the energy to like be with me. So, and
And I know,
looking back and after researching, listening to certain people talk or reading articles, it's like these procedures are just considered normal, but there's no I would say the spiritual or
yeah, there's like no
emotional
connection.
aspect.
They give no space of connection for the spiritual end of it, even though it's like a childbirth, which is like one of the most spiritual things that can happen in that kind of setting. But they don't, I mean, because the hospital I work at now has an OB. So I've been actually able to be at some births lately and some C-sections and different things. And it's like they literally don't give you that space for that. And
It's
like you were saying with the placenta, like literally they have this metal bucket like below your, on the floor below where you're giving birth. And like they pull that placenta out afterwards and just let it like plop in this bucket. And I actually thought that I'm like, I
I
wonder
can't.
what they do with that. Sorry, I don't mean to be too descriptive, but I was
I
like, I
know.
wonder what they do with that,
I know what they do with that and what I believe they do with that, and I've researched that as well,
Yeah,
and a whole other level of a topic. But yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. And for me, the not being able to have children naturally was because my vajayjay would not open down there because it was like so like ugh everywhere
yeah,
around. And by the
right.
time I was knowing I was going to have Lily, I was 39. I'd been researching a lot of stuff. I knew a lot of,
Hmm.
but I couldn't find one midwife who would even come and meet me and look me in the eye, or me go meet her and look her in the eye. Even to have her and I deliver at the hospital because I'd had the two first C-sections,
Oh
so
yeah.
considered high risk, and a midwife wouldn't even
Hmm.
consider meeting me. Like there are midwives now in home birth naturally in Ontario.
I'm gonna
However,
put you on pause for a sec.
but
I think there's someone at the delivering something. Yeah, but whenever also with that too, with the C-sections, oh my dog's gonna start. I'll be right back.
yeah, I'll just bounce off the comments. Annie says the home birth's so much better. The trauma is unnecessary stuff hospitals do for a natural process that is not an emergency. Exactly. And it's only coming around now, in the last, I would say 10 to 15 years that midwives are even considered, legal or allowed to do what they do. They've got a lot of certification they need to get through, though, right? It's not just like, oh, you just do it. Do people do that? I hope so, right? Just do it. I begged some friends to just, please, could we just be me and you? Trust me, trust you, and let's just do this. But nobody had faith in themselves, right? My ex was so scared I was going to die that there was no way he was going to try to help or do anything, right? The squeaminess. And C-sections have gone up way, way too much. Indeed, it's to the point where you can just say, I want a C-section and I don't have to try to give birth. And they're very happy. It's a little bit more money for them, right?
Yeah, and what I was going to add to that before I left even was the fact that they now schedule out the C-sections like a month and a half to 2 months ahead of time. How do they know that? Because we have a list because we have to be at the C-section for backup in case there's breathing issues. But I'm surprised. I'm like, how do they know a month and a half ahead of time they're going to do a C-section, like you said, unless they already had prior ones. But a lot of these women, they're first time births. And they're
exactly.
already scheduling out a C-section. I'm like, what the hell? It's like not even close to the end of the end of the pregnancy.
I believe that there's a true, I'm going to use the word thing in place that makes women fearful of giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just have this choice that they're allowed to make now, or we, of
Yeah.
I want to try natural. I want my baby on January 23rd, and that's it.
Exactly. And be
Yeah.
able to plan for it. And do you think the push for that too might have something to do spiritually also with losing that birth experience
Oh yeah.
and to make it more clinical
Yep.
and to make it easy, like to lose the work for it? Where you feel like you've been in labor for so long, it's just like not work. It's just like, I'm just going to go in there, going to take my baby out. It's going to look so beautiful because its head's not going to be deformed. And oh, they'll just put a few stitches in me. No big deal. Can I tell you, when I watched my first C-section not that long ago, they go through about this much muscle. Sorry, I don't mean to be gross. I thought
No,
they just like touched. I just thought they just went through the skin, and all of a sudden, poof, the baby popped out. I could not believe how much physicality it was to get that baby out of that womb with a C-section.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
I didn't want to see inside of myself, and I don't think it was
Right,
even considered allowable, where
right.
I was at. And but I mean, I know that even if I was like completely frozen and drugged up, I still felt like the
Pressure.
push and
Mm-hmm.
pull and the pressure.
Yeah,
And I know how long it took to heal, right? Uh,
yeah.
you have a C-section, the first thing they say is you can't lift this much weight and you can't do this, you can't do that. But all those can't do's, you're doing them within the first 2 weeks, unless you're so fucking blessed with a support. Because automatically, depending on the size of your baby and any baby carriers to get to and from a car and stuff like that,
You can't
it's that,
carry.
it's that weight already.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the separation of masculine and feminine, I believe that we've been brainwashed to believe as well that it's even women who should be helping birth a child. If a man and woman made a child, they should be alone giving birth together, and that's it.
Yeah.
If you're ready to go munch out down there, then you should be ready to catch a child. That's it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
seriously. Uh, that's it. And,
Yeah. I don't know how we got on that topic, but
I don't know, eh?
it must have been meant to come out.
Well, yeah, and it's sometimes things that aren't spoken of like super just openly and from points of view of experiencing, because I can't imagine viewing and being a part of that, right? You're the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had all mine vaginal, so I never got to experience it, luckily.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this though, with my which one was it? My third one, my son Daniel. Third, that's three there. Do you see? That's three.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids too.
Yeah. You got three of them too? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 4 kids, but my third one, there we go, third. They were gonna do a C-section on kids had stupid, hold on.
Michelle, I told Alexa.
My,
Okay.
my third one was going to be a C-section emergently, and my ex-husband, he also is a respiratory therapist, so he's well versed in the medical field also. So he saw the head down there, and he's like, "She doesn't want a C-section. Get the prongs out or the forceps out and pull him out." You know. And I'm so glad he did, because he basically pretty much came right out. But they wanted to rush me off to a C-section as soon as there was even a little bit of a possible issue, you know?
Do you
And
see how that timeline right there was being manipulated one way, and just because he
yeah,
knew enough to look down,
yeah,
be like, huh? Right?
yeah,
You guys aren't gonna do it, I'll do it.
exactly. And I think he would have too. He would
Oh
have been
yeah.
like, well, give me the forceps or the suction cups, however they do it nowadays, and just pull him out. And he came out. It wasn't like, but they just wanted to automatically go to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And to what point? Because the labor is already down there, and yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michelle says I have chosen a lifetime of extremes. I wanted it all. So first son was all natural. The second was an emergency C-section. The OB was a large man and had a cooling suit on. So it was like, ew. It was like a demonic beekeeper's suit. Freak the fuck.
Ooh, that's weird.
I was already scared shitless with drugs and IV on board. I think I tripped dimensions. Dude, I think so. Oh my God, I'm tripping, I'm tripping just listening, just reading that. I can't imagine. Oh my gosh. One thing as well, just because if we're going to be on a topic that
Yeah,
we
of course, all the
let's
men
go,
are running.
let's go way far out there.
Yeah.
At my third, which was Lily Rose, at one point I'm lying down. Lily Rose is exited and she's being gone, suck all the little stuff and wash her off and stuff. And the doctor says something to me, and I look at Chris and I look at the doctor, and the doctor repeats. And I look at Chris and I'm like, what the fuck is he saying to me? What's he fucking saying to me? And Chris is like, he's asking you, do you want your tubes tied? And I'm like, what? Why? And he's like, and the doctor's telling Chris, so Chris can talk to me because I have an adult speaking. I could only understand my partner at the time. And he's like, well, they're already inside of you. You're cut open and they can just cut your tubes, just like tie your tubes. And I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, why didn't you ask me this an hour ago when I was filling out forms and I was completely like lucid still and I could have thought about it? I was like, no, no, I don't consent. You know what I mean? Where's my placenta, tabarnak? You don't want to show me that, but you want to cut my tubes? I would be like, to see the actual numbers and gnosis, how many women actually had their tubes tied during a section.
Yeah. And they do that right at the last second, and they're like,
oh yeah.
Oh, we're in here. Do you want them to? Well, hello, I'm pregnant right now. I wasn't even thinking about the future of, you know what I mean? And if you didn't bring it up in the office every, 3 weeks, you have to go for the 9 months, which is ridiculous. Why bring it up now?
Yeah.
You were the one I saw in the office. You never asked me before.
I never did the whole route the third time with Lily because I had played the show the first times. I was adamant about trying to find a midwife. I was at 6 months, I was still trying to find one. And so by the time I stepped into the doctor's office for the first time, I was 5, 6 months pregnant because it was like, I know I'm fine, right? You're not getting all those little monkey tests, and I'm not going to come here and answer questions to you every couple weeks.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But the one thing that I am aware of in Canada, I haven't really seen anything pop up or been guided in anything in years, but there are cases, Indigenous women rising up to say, I had my tubes tied after my first, second, or third child because they thought that I shouldn't have any more. And I didn't know that I had my tubes tied until I got fertility work done.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it does happen.
Did you have the midwife with all 3 of yours, Josh? Yeah, Josh had a midwife for all 3 of his children.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I would wish that for anyone, or at least the hospital experiences to be the safest, purest as possible, because, we can talk about trauma bonds or intergenerational trauma and healing. And, like, we're still bringing babies into the world right now in 2020 in ways that it's just amplifying certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to say hi, Jude?
Sure.
Jude wants to say hi. Say hi, Jude.
Hi,
hey. Jude. What's going on?
I'm trying live streaming.
She's trying to stream you
with other people for the first time.
Say hi to everyone there.
I usually talk alone.
Yeah.
So this is pretty neato.
Tell her what you're doing.
I'm just watching TV.
What do you watch?
Impractical Jokers.
Oh yeah.
Practical Jokers. You like that stuff? Is that your favorite stuff?
Yeah. That or wrestling.
Wrestling, really?
WWE.
Like new wrestling or like
no.
school wrestling type of thing?
Studio wrestling.
Studio wrestling.
Okay. I stopped watching wrestling when like Hulk Hogan and
Yeah.
Razor. That was a long
Oh,
time. That was a long time ago.
yeah, it was.
All right, say bye, Jude.
See you later.
Yes, definitely. Thanks, sweetie.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. I just dropped my phone. Sorry. That's Jude.
Such a cool energy. Oh my god. I feel it.
He's my firstborn.
I gotta ask, did you choose his name because of the Beatles song, Hey Jude, or is there another?
Oh, Jude. He hates that song.
Oh no.
Oh, he hates it because everyone's been singing it to him his whole life.
Yeah, but me and Jude have something in common.
Yeah.
My first name is actually Michelle.
Yeah.
I have a Beatles song too.
She has a Beatles song too because her first name's Michelle. Do you know
Wait.
Michelle, my
No.
belle?
We
You don't
do
know that
okay.
song?
I prefer Hey Jude.
Yeah. So, no, he was born Jude because his dad's middle name is Jude, but also because I was on bed rest for a lot of my pregnancy with him. So, his grandma always prayed to St. Jude a lot because he was, not a lost cause, but he was a difficult cause. So that's why we named him Jude.
That's beautiful. I got shivers. I'm so glad I asked.
Yeah.
My first true boyfriend, you know what I mean? Like I had whatever, but my
Yeah.
first love is he was Adam Jude.
Oh, cool.
For saint as well.
Huh.
Uh,
Another synchronicity, huh?
yeah. I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah, but now he's just a pain in the butt. Huh, Jude?
Sure. Also known as Brick.
Yeah, we call him Brick. Josh likes to call him Brick because he's so stubborn. He's like a brick wall.
Thomas, because I doubted everything and I asked so many questions.
Oh, yeah.
It's a story of doubting Thomas. He just, yeah. To one point where I was really little and I was just like, do you want to just make that my name if you're going to call me that? Because as cute as it can be when we tease our kids or when we're getting teased, at some point it's like, when that joke is just too old and you either stop or I'm done, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, do you want me to tell other people my name's Thomas now, Mom?
That's funny.
Right? I'm going to tell your friends at the Christmas party you call me that.
Yeah. You call me a boy's name. Thanks.
Oh
So
my
what's
God.
your name?
Her name is Michelle, but we call her Genevieve.
Yeah.
Because that's her middle name.
Yeah.
Oh. Why you name my middle name?
Jude's middle name is Sebastian. Jude Sebastian. And why did I name you that?
Yeah.
Because I always really liked the name Sebastian. I wanted it to be your first name, but we went with Jude.
Jude Sébastien. In
Yeah,
French.
that's a really Frenchish name, isn't it?
Jude Sébastien. Totally.
Yeah, Genevieve is from Canada, but she's a French Canadian, so she knows how to speak French and
Canadian.
Yeah, and Canadian. Yeah, Canadian's the same as English, but yeah.
That's funny though, because in my life path, in like in the 90s or 2000s and stuff, when I was working restaurants or working places, and then Americans would come in and they'd start talking and they'd be like, you guys aren't so different from us. I always thought Canadians were, this or that, or that you guys would be different. And it's like, you're just like us. And it's like, yeah, we pretty much watch the same shows and, same music. We got our own stuff as well. Right. But yeah, it's just a line. And then there's differences, obviously, but every community, even if they're 15 minutes away from each other in the same state or province, have different slang terms, different ways to speak. Kissy, kissy. Bye, Josh.
Bye, Josh. She got to go pick the girls up at school. He's blushing, he said.
I know, Moose coming in. Hey, Moose, it's my first
Hi,
time.
Moose. Tell Moose to come on up.
I never done this before this way.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
It's special.
It is special.
I want to thank Andy.
Who moved? Who's Moose?
One of our other friends, Moose.
Moose is
His
a
name's Michael, but we call him Moose.
Is there a reason why?
Is there a reason why? We'll have to ask Moose
I've
if he
never
comes up with his reason why, as Jude would like to know.
Oh, the baby's sleeping to this.
Aw, so
Awesome.
sweet.
I never really asked Moose. I think he talked about it once, why the nickname. But I can't remember. But it's one of my son's nicknames. My son's 26. And so that's why it's like, I don't know, Moose is Moose, and he's just, right? He didn't have jump any hoops because he's got that nickname that's like my son, and then his first name is like mine. So
Mm-hmm.
when
Yeah, Michael Michelle.
yeah, when the sync's flowy, I love it. I like Sebastian's a Romanian name also.
Yeah, he's just mad because it's right around the same time he was born, was around the same time as, the Little Mermaid Disney one came out, because, that was like 27 years ago. So it was right around then. So he thought it was like had to do with Sebastian the Crab. So he gets mad about that. Huh, Jude?
Yeah.
You were going to say that there was going to be the link, but that you didn't choose it because?
No, it had nothing to do with it.
Aw, Moose says, my mom's name is Michelle.
Aw.
Rar. Neato. I was named Michelle Genevieve Marie. That's my real name. And I've always only used Michelle in my life. And my grandfather would call me Genevieve randomly. When he would give me treats, or when he would it was my special thing with my grandpa. And after he transitioned, I just started to have synchronicities where I would see the name Eve or the word Eve or
Oh, yeah.
or Genevieve, and it was like I want to help myself step out of my shell, my shell,
Oh, yeah.
and step into like the Genevieve aspect, the syllables, right? Our name.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about, right? People talk about like, contracts and our names and capital letters.
Well, so where did you meet her at?
I met her here on YouTube, where I met Josh and a lot of my other friends, and Donna I met on YouTube, who lives here.
Oh.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It is
names is more syllables sometimes, and not
right.
The syllables are important.
Right, like my name Jacqueline, and I just always went by Jackie, because who wants to spit out Jacqueline every time you want to say someone's name?
Jacqueline.
And but I always thought it was so cool because I had a Q in my name.
Yeah.
No, or a QU. And I always liked that. And then my maiden name was Nancy. So I always hated that because no one could ever say it right by the way it looks, and had a Z in it. So I had a name that had a Q and a Z. My first name had a Q and my last name had a Z in it, which was very,
it is. It's
not common.
I don't think I would wonder like what to what point, like you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's that mean?
Jacqueline. Jacqueline is for the masculine, and Jacqueline is for the feminine. In French, a lot of names are pronounced almost the same way, whether it's a masculine or a feminine. That's it.
Right.
But Jacqueline is I wouldn't say it's like common. Everybody in there has that name, but it's common. So to say those syllables, Jacqueline puis Jacqueline, and one of the things that when I lived in Quebec that could be surreal is how a Jacqueline would fall in love and marry a Jacqueline.
Yeah.
So you've got two people who have the same name, like a Michelle, right? They get together.
Right.
Thing. But just how mind-blowing it is when you're coming from the perspective of having lived exterior of Quebec, and then how, right, the names, the pronunciation, and because my name is very common in Quebec, Michelle Barrette, it's a dime a dozen, and especially for masculine. So the pronouncing of it and then you see my face and it's like, oh, I thought you were a guy. It was like,
Right. To not be sure, 100% sure, just by on paper.
yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. And Jacqueline is not a super common name here.
No.
There aren't that many Jackies.
Yeah.
And I was named after Jacqueline Kennedy because my mom loved her.
Did you listen to that song I sent you that time, Jackie
I
O
did.
by
I did, and
yeah.
I never heard it before.
It's one of my favorite songs. I've loved it since it came out because I had gotten that cassette way back in the day. And I was glad if you hadn't heard it. That was the day that I was meant to introduce it to you, right?
Yeah. Yep. Anything else you want to talk about, Jude?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. Jude's my buddy.
Moose says kids can make any name bad. Yeah, when we were naming Samuel, we knew we wanted Samuel as his name. That was our that's it. That's it. That was his name. But for his middle name, we played around with a lot of names. And I remember at one point, my husband at the time, he wanted like a French sounding name, but then every name that I would like, he didn't like what rhymed with it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, wow. We ended up with Damon as his middle name because we watched a movie with Damon Wayans
Uh-huh.
the month before I gave birth. We laughed so hard that I was like, we should we should use Damon as his middle name. And he was like, sure. And I was like, sure. So we did. And looking back, I didn't have the internet at the time. And when I did, research the name, Damon is little spirit,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not evil.
No.
But yeah, it was cool that, we didn't have a way to know per se. It just came up and we felt it right away that it was meant to be.
And isn't it like just say something about like society in general or this reality we live in that we think about when we pick a name that we have that we go to the fact of are they going to be made fun of or picked on because of their like that's actually a thought in our head as we're naming.
I when I had my restaurant, there was a dude named Roger, and he said something to me once. He's like, "Can I call you little one?" It's like, I like to give people names, and you speak English, and you're the only one I can really practice with because it was in Quebec at the time, and I just inside of me, I call you little one already. Is it okay if I say it out loud? And I was like, sure. I love nicknames. Sure, you can call me little one. And I was like, I kind of have a nickname for you too, but not in a way that I call you that, but in a way that until I knew your name, that's the name I gave you. And he's like, what name? And I was like, George.
I love that.
And he was like, what? And his ego rose up and he was insulted and he thought I was making fun of him
Yeah. Or like it was a bad thing somehow.
he was like, that's a nerd name or like that's not cool. And I was like, what do you mean? First of all, it's like George because it's just George of the jungle. George, watch out for that boom tree. George, curious George. I love the name George.
Yeah.
So that became his nickname because then he knew. It was like, I didn't use that because I thought yucky stuff. I use it because I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Like the name Edward is cool, even if it was considered not cool. Or I don't know. I've always been a word nerd and love names and syllables. So names that stand out that are very different or very old school that are being brought back because that's
Mm-hmm.
a big thing right now. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just finished my row. It's all pieced together as of right this very moment online.
No way.
I will show it all pieced together. And then I just have to put the border all the way around.
That's so cool, sweetie.
So it's all together, my precious spiral. This is for Josh's youngest daughter, Madeline. Mm-hmm. And I call it Spiral Love.
It's gorgeous. I'm gonna hold up the one that I have. I did not make it, guys, but just the colors are
I love those. It is. Look how similar the colors are. Isn't that crazy?
It's surreal. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love it. I can't make this up that you made that, but this is what I was gifted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The colors.
Love it.
Still, isn't
I
that
love it. Love it. No, I can come closer. There we go. Hey, everybody. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Hey, everyone in chat.
Yeah, if you want to check out the chat, see who's there a little bit.
Oh, thank you, Alex. I love Alex. Yeah. Alex has been with me since my very beginning here.
Me too.
He's another YouTuber.
Oh.
And he lives in Transylvania. Is that it?
Romania.
Romania.
Yeah. Me too. Alex since the first month.
Aww. Really, Michelle? Cool.
Nicholas would have been Madeleine. That's cute. Samuel would have been Melina, and Amy would have been Carlos.
Real famous Jackie Fox. Moose. So cute. This is cute.
Wait, Moose?
Moose is.
He's Moose.
He's a really cool dude.
Moose.
You would like Moose.
Double G's.
So where's Moose from?
I forget, where is Moose from? He's up Maine area, isn't he?
I think so right now. Yeah, in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remembered that. I'm pretty good with that stuff.
As the crow flies, he'd be, I don't know, 20 hours maybe? 20 hours away from me. I always, when I look at ley lines or when I think of where people are, it's like, okay, they're that direction. And as the crow flies is like that estimate of where I think, right? And usually spot on because I know my mapping. But I find it so interesting. And this is something that if I was a documenter and somebody could prove stuff and show stuff, the ley lines of where we are, you know, and when there's two people talking or three people, or when we're gathered in a live stream, if we in like an increment of 15 minutes, the 6 people or 10 people that were there, if we mapped it out,
the energetic lines, yeah,
we would be, I don't think I know because I see them inside of me, right? I don't need to do it because I already see it.
Right. That's so cool.
Anybody knows or believes it, like, right? But I see it in my mind's eye sometimes, and the coordinates of us like can be like, it's sometimes like we cross over with the lines, right? But sometimes it's just like little triangles and little pretty little triangles and stuff. It's so cool.
It is. Are you bored, Jude?
Kind of.
Jude's bored with us.
You're near Acadia National Park. Right on, Moose.
Did you see Michelle wrote that her husband's name is Josh also?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, whose name is Josh?
Someone in the chat.
Wow.
Alex says, I already understand almost everything in English, and at first I only understood half of it. Yep. Isn't that cool? 4 years of being on, you know, YouTube, social media, whatever word you want to use, or platforms, but learning another language.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember asking Alex very early, like, where are you from? How many languages do you speak? It's like, I knew, right? And he's like, oh, I'm using a translator. These are my languages. And I was like, okay, you get a lot of slack, right? When you see comments and they're written a certain way, but when you know that it's their third, fourth language, everything can be, you can interpret it in the way that they mean it, not in how it just looks sometimes through the translators.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moose says Jude needs some testosterone. He can't handle all the feminine energy.
Oh, yeah. Jude loves it. Jude loves the girls. Huh, Jude?
Yeah, I do.
See? Jude loves the girls.
Oh gosh. Moose says, go ask Joe Cool to buy you some subs. He'll get you to 1,000. I don't want to be at
No.
1,000. unless
I'm at 1,000 finally. Now what do I do with it? It took me 4 years to get to 1,000.
Open up the options, baby girl.
I know. I was thinking about it. I gotta wait till I can get my Jackie Fox 333 back. I'm not a cult member anymore, though.
Yeah, that's why
I have another week to wait.
I don't mess with my name. I haven't changed my little avatar or whatever you call it since my first year. But it helps because it's easier. It's maybe not easier to find me because I don't have a lot of subs. I don't have those videos that's like, boom, I'm right up there. But as soon as I go into a chat or as soon as I go into a live stream or something,
Right.
very recognizable.
Very
So
recognizable.
I can step into something where I've never been before because a link from someone else got me there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's already people who know as I'm stepping in. Oh wow, there's Genevieve, right? There's Jen. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Or wow, I can't. There you are, type of thing. But
Yeah.
it's
And
easier.
it comes with that green heart energy, you know?
That's a
It's like your
trick.
icon. It's like it comes with that green heart energy that's so just, open and loving and
Well,
yeah.
one of the things that I learned from being on the side of answering to comments and doing certain things is that it can get very tricky when people change their names very often or
Yeah.
their icons, whatever it's called. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
especially the icons.
it can get like weird sometimes, right? That it's just harder to decipher, right? Boom, like on the spot.
So, where is your friend from?
She's from Canada. Do you know where
Oh.
Canada is?
Very far away.
Very far away.
I think that we're maybe I would say 25 to 30-hour drive at the most.
25 to 30-hour drive. So like
Maybe.
a day of driving.
I don't actually maybe not even. I know
Yeah.
I've built this before because I am hoping, planning, manifesting.
Yeah. I'm an hour south of Lake Michigan in Indiana.
Yeah, you're not even 13 hours away from me.
Oh my gosh, only 13 hours. That's like nothing.
Yeah,
13 hours is a long drive.
you should keep getting to know me, Jude, because someday I'm going to pass through and then
Mhm. Yeah. She'll stop at the Fox Den.
yeah.
Ofsted.
That's our house.
Oh.
Call it the Fox Den.
Yeah. Yeah.
Road trip, Eddie.
We are like not even 11 hours.
Oh, that's nothing.
So that's a one, let's just do this. I just need coffee and gas.
And potty breaks. That's it.
Exactly. Hey, Eddie. How's it going, sweetie?
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and head down because he went to get the girls and I made homemade spaghetti sauce today. So I got to get the noodles going because then I got to leave for work at 5:00.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to put the link
Yeah.
out there another time just to see because the link's gone from
Yeah, that happens.
however long we've been doing this.
Yeah.
If anybody want to come up just to keep on like, I don't know, keep going a little bit.
All right. Much love, everyone. I'll see you later. This is Jackie Fox 333. Have a great, blessed, and light-filled day. I will see you next time. I love you, G.
Love you too. Thank you. We've been waiting a while for this.
Yay. Wee. Give me a wee.
Have a good afternoon and shift. Okay. I'm putting it up. I got maybe a little bit more. I hadn't really planned. Me and Annie and I were talking about certain things, and I was like, I'm gonna go try. And then I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna try. So that was awesome. Yeah, I haven't really had food. Weird too, where it's been dark and dreary and cloudy. Am I on mute or can you guys hear me? It's been dark, dreary, and cloudy for days, and then all of a sudden, the sun came out. It was even raining when the delivery guy came, and it was raining, with the sun out. Guess who's back? Back again.
Back again. Yeah, I love that.
Did you tune in at all when me and Jackie were talking?
Yes. See, I had to. A friend of mine invited me over for a smoke session, and that would not have been appropriate for the ears of the chat. We cough a lot.
Yeah. Well, I could have just named the stream 420 break. Anyways, right on. Good for you. Road trip
Yes.
Genevieve going to the next level, eh? Friggin' awesome.
Mm,
Yeah, thank Annie because she gave that little go birdie fly. And yeah, I know I need change. And what I might
I
start
want
doing.
to travel again,
Yeah, me too, Wolf dude. I'm
like so badly.
all we need is the wheels, dude. Seriously. At this point, hunting for a car is or a vehicle is very special.
Yes.
But it's
I
coming. It's coming, right? I mean, I can't.
I am working there slowly, Mama Bear. I am. I have the link to the whole book that you have to study before getting your permit, and I'm going to start studying after this live stream.
Cool beans. I was just telling Kelly yesterday, and we talked a little bit, or was it this morning? I haven't driven a car in a year and 2 months. Since the day I gave up my car, I've not driven. So I'm to that because I've had my license all my life. But a year and 2 months without a vehicle. I told Lily when we do find a car, I'm gonna be crying half the time when we take off just from gratitude of having control, being able to choose. If we can't sleep at 3 in the morning, hey, let's go drive somewhere and catch the sunrise, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, we didn't camp at all either. So
As Genevieve, as someone who's had a car for a long, long time, do you think it gives you more access to like more precious moments in life?
yes, yes. You remember? You remember Soothe the Glitch? I
Yeah.
started watching him because he was in his car, and that's how he got his downloads. And I remember watching him, and this is before, like, Soothe the Glitch was one of the first people I ever saw on YouTube, and then within 3 weeks, I started my channel. That's it. But I remember seeing him, and he was talking about how when he takes a drive, when he goes to a certain portal places, it was like seeing a version of me that I knew existed, but I never heard anybody talk like that before.
Fractals of God, man.
Going into a car, taking off for a drive, even if it's only a half an hour, is one of my biggest tools for myself to ground into the energy, to see synchronicities and flow, to be like have all these like boom, rapid things, numbers, letters, images, right? Nature. Like the fact that I haven't been able to get out to my favorite happy places, and all you got to do is look back not last year, but 3 years before that, of everywhere that I would share occasionally, like Mattawa, or when I went on the reserve, the different
Yeah.
angles of the lake, right?
Yeah.
Or when we Manitoulin Island. So I resisted a long time to give up the car and to not let go of a timeline because I knew to what point it would change everything. And now that I'm entering the, oh, I do have enough, do have enough for a vehicle. It's, it's limited. I'm not, can't get, brand new car type thing. But so now I'm in the thing of feeling just like, I have and I'm ready. Where's the car? Right? How come
Yeah.
I'm not? How come I'm
Manifest that
not?
blue truck.
Yes, my dude. How come I'm not walking and I don't see a, for sale sign? Start talking to somebody and being like, boom, the next day it's mine.
Yes. Yes, let's
Right?
pivot. Come on. It'll
So,
happen.
and honestly, you mentioned how I was being silent a lot in the last couple months and stuff. That's a lot of
Yeah.
my silence is that I'm in just like fear mode of manifesting. It's not fucking easy being cheesy.
Yeah.
The shock of, because I believe manifestation happens fast, almost instantaneously. When something's meant to be, nothing can be in the way. So
Now,
what's taking so long for me to find a fucking vehicle, right? Like,
I try not to bother you a whole lot because I know you're going through that energetically. But when I do send something to you, usually it's important enough, and I explain why.
yeah. I don't feel though that I'm accountable to have to answer back to a text
Yeah.
with an emoji or a thumbs up that I got it,
Yeah.
or anything,
Yeah.
because the receiving of it, I got the information. I got, like, sometimes receiving text knowing that somebody, whatever, like, if you didn't ask me a straight up question and if
Yeah.
there's something to answer to, like, I don't believe in that etiquette of the last little emoji and then the other thumbs up and then the other one and then the other one, and it's just like, oh my god, are we just gonna emoji each other like for 2 days? Like, there didn't need to be a response,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I
So
understand.
I always hope that the people who, that I have a regularity with, you guys just get it, right?
I
It's
I
fun.
used to send an diamond and a rainbow and a lightning bolt and a blue heart. Like after a while, as I don't know, some kind of thank you
Yeah.
for whenever I find you in other people's videos and we talk in the videos.
Yeah. Annie says, I just want a heart to response, but some people don't even allow it. And
Uh,
that to me is the ultimate. It's like the validation, right? On my iPhone, I've got a heart, a thumbs up, an exclamation point, a haha, and a question mark. To me, that's the ultimate of I validate, I've seen it, but there's no words needed, right? It's awesome. But yeah, I feel weird if I receive something and I can't validate at all, right? So yeah, putting that heart, I totally get it. Okay, there goes Wolf Dude. I think what I'm gonna do, unless there's somebody wanting to grab that link or somebody who's got like flow, is I might just stop. I know that especially if we don't, if we're not paying for StreamYards, there's a limited amount of time we can actually use it. So I'm not gonna sit here and just talk to myself the same way that I usually do. And I don't know how long I've been on, but I didn't even realize if it would work or not, right? I just wanted to do a test that turns into hours. Annie D, tearing down for the ultimate purpose of rebuilding. I'm trying to coax Tom on the plan to join in. I love it. That was awesome, Annie. Thank you. It is really because of you. Um, because that suggestion, and then and it's such a flashback of 3 years ago in February. I'm talking to Melissa on a Skype chat, and she's loading an app and trying to see if she can stream. And it never worked for her, but it worked for me, and I've been streaming ever since. And today felt like that. where I've been asking, am I meant to be doing other stuff? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I got a direct answer today, like just being guided to it for with you, Annie. I love it. That's important. Yeah. Yeah, I try not to talk too much about like the energy of like trying to manifest a car and stuff, but at the same time, I need to put it out there because I know that certain things happen fast when we're gathered in that prayer focused, right? Um Believe me when I say that me and Lily having a car and wheels is for a greater good for so many people right now, in the sense of where we would want to be and where we want to be, and what we want to manifest for ourselves is to not be doing this way, to just be here, right? When I don't know who was here earlier when Jackie was here and I teased Jude. It's kind of nice we're meeting like this, Jude, because someday I'm gonna be passing through and I'm gonna stop and you're gonna already know me, right? Instead of, you know what I mean? So yeah, help amplify with me, guys. There's some certain stuff that has to get done. There's definitely wheels that need to happen. There's a part of me that needs to reintegrate driving. And I don't mean from the sense I'm a driver, I'm a winner, baby. I got no qualms getting behind any wheel in 5 minutes, right? But to integrate what it feels like to have freedom and the choice and the ability to just go and be somewhere. So it's been like years of a fucked up isolation, then amplified with a full year of not being able to just go certain places, right? Remember how I talked a couple weeks ago or a couple streams ago about how one day in the summer I woke up and realized I'll never see the wheat fields this summer. I've never seen anything outside of where we go get groceries or where we can walk to have an adventure, right? And I was so fucking sad. I don't know if it's my tears that grew the fucking piece of this beside my door, but and I know it sounds weird to be like holding on to one little piece of, but it was like that thing of like saying to God and creator and my higher self, am I doing anything right? Because if I'm doing anything right, why am I still fucking stuck here where I don't want to be? And the miracle, like the blessing of this growing by the door. Um, I've already said goodbye to a lot of ley lines and areas around here. I don't have to go back to certain things, but I have to get back to the feeling of what it feels like to just be able to choose things a different way. I've even been doing my groceries somewhere where it's like, this isn't where I would choose to go. The areas of the lake that we've had access to in the last year are the only ones that I avoided. I lived near this community for years and I avoided the fucking beach and the area where it's been our stomping ground for a year, right? This being said, oh, fuck, I learned a lot and I saw exactly what's happening, community wise, energetically and stuff, but I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. What a deep level of lived experience you'll take away from this time. Yeah, special needs moms talks for real. I had been carless in my life before, where just in between vehicles, a lot of stuff happening, and didn't have a vehicle, but I always had access. I had friends, I had support. So if I needed to go somewhere, there were people to call. If I needed to go somewhere, there were people offering. Do you need a ride somewhere? Do you want my car today? All right. I'm not using the car all weekend. Take it. Take the car all weekend. I was so supported and this year has been like, what the fuck? To not manifest anybody or anything of support I'll never let people not feel a certain way or be seen or heard. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, and you do the wheels. Yeah. I don't know many people locally. Everybody that I do know, even when I step into a cab, I always usually mention it to someone. Do you know anybody who's got a car? If you see somebody, if you go pick somebody up and there's a car in the next driveway that says for sale that you think could be like something, right? Like, just let me know. But anyways, it'll be when it will be, right? Yeah, zigzag. I managed to be on for about an hour-ish. Sound seems to be fine this time. Special needs, it really forces you into surrender. I found when I've had to just deal with extreme situation, it's been ultimately the most growth inducing. Yeah, we've lived stuff, it's just little things of, I was very blessed. I was able to take a cab instead of trying to take a bus. Especially at the beginning, the bus mandates with the masks and stuff was just ugh. So taking a cab was a blessing, but having to wait in the cold or in the heat, observing other people while you got a grocery cart full of food, you're standing there. It's different now because Lily doesn't look like a kid. People will assume she's like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, even sometimes, right? So the looks, how people are, I don't know, just seeing people's energy, how many people, like watching people in a way that I can't even describe. The homelessness, who chooses to help, who chooses to just keep on walking and pretend it's not there. It's yeah, I've learned a lot. I've witnessed a lot. And yeah. Yep, it gives you so much perspective on the range of lived experiences people have. Exactly. Yeah. Like there's some people who never get their license their whole life. It's a certain choice, right? But how just of surrender they are to be like fine with there's always somebody else, there's always another way. And I don't know. For me, I grew up where I was 12, 13, 14 years old, and I was counting the sleeps till I was a certain age that I could drive. Um, it is monumentally important to me to have a vehicle, right? It's huge. So not having one, yeah. Michelle says yes, she looks and she sounds mature beyond her years. Exactly. Especially when we go out because of the type of boots and that she wears compared to what I do. It's not that she wears heels, but she's got platforms or whatever, not platforms even, just there's a heel to the bottom of her boots that makes it that she's actually taller than me in public, right? So, Wolf dude, you're one of the only people, Mama Bear, that has really heard or seen me. Thank you for that. You're welcome, Wolf dude. Exactly, Alex. You cannot avoid what has to happen anyway. Life forces you to do it. Yeah. Michelle, the sound is 5 by 5. Awesome. Cool. Maybe that's something will be a learning thing too, that if I start a stream, if the sound is kind of choppy, I should just stop right away and start another one because it'll end up muting at some point. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Alex, it's been 2 decades since I saw a homeless person. I lived my whole life only seeing a certain amount, right? Because first of all, it's not common in a lot of areas that I've lived. It's small rural areas. People either take somebody in or you know what I mean? Like it's different in small rural places. I think I had to really experience this year to really like when people speak from the perspective of, that they have no fucking clue the ripple effect of the last 3 years. And when you're right smack dab in the middle of the ripple effect, you can't pretend you don't know. Am I sitting here and, I know the ripple effect. I know that many people that I've spoken to, when they choose to want to be vulnerable and speak to me that are homeless, they're not of addictions. They're of the fucking shit hit the fan. They had the house, they had the career, and then they did not. A lot of homeless people that I've met across Canada, when they've spoken to me one on one, they were completely normal, had everything going for them, and then something happened at work where, you know what I mean? Something happened at work, and then the bullying, the boycotting, the shaming, the guilting, and losing jobs, losing reputations, losing life partners, right? Happens very fast, and especially in the last years, for real. Special needs moms talks. I can feel that you have. Yeah. Michelle, going to Toronto was surreal, the homelessness. There's an equivalent of what was here, Mitch, that especially right not this summer, but last summer with the incident of stuff on the beach. I didn't make videos, Michelle, of what they call tent city here. I never made a video. I never shared that publicly. I didn't even make videos to share with you or, Kelly or anybody that I was texting at the time. Um, I didn't. First of all, it wasn't I asked my higher self. It's not part, wasn't part of my purpose. That second, if I would have showed you guys certain videos, if you think you already had fear and felt, yucky shit, what you would have felt by seeing that would have been like amplified way more, right? If you would have seen just how the situation was and what, like Lily has lived already in her 11 years, like especially in the last year, seeing and witnessing things that my other children never did. And it doesn't matter what they ever do in their life. If they see that kind of stuff now, guess what? You're an adult. You're an adult. Um, Sometimes to what point, just the life that my two children had and the life that Lily has. And I'm going to say it now because it's but my biggest fear all winter was going for a walk and finding a body, right? Finding a body. Because that has and is happening even in the summer, not just the winter. It just felt different in the winter because the days were shorter. And so, yeah, try not to focus on those things too much and amplify or manifest it. But yeah, I'm trying to mind myself physically, emotionally for it's May now. It's nice weather. Uh, Even this weekend, the potential of people like, just having fireworks and walking down the street and popping them off for no reason. It's the beginning of that season, right? And just how hard that is on the fight or flight reflex when, it's one thing when there's fireworks or when it's a long weekend. But when somebody's just walking down the street, popping off one or two just because they think they're cool, I don't know. I've never been so fucking inconsiderate of humans in my life. And if I have, and this is my payback, well, shit, I gotta be done at some point, right? Michelle, it's a surreality. What a time. Yeah. I think sometimes I get pissed or I'm just angry. I have jealousy maybe or envy of those people who, oh, I manifested my life. None of that stuff's around me. I have high vibrational people all the time. My soul tribe's always coming to me and all this, and it's like, whoa. It's just it's just inconceivable to me. There's not just one person, right? To amplify and make a trinity with me and Lily Rose. Cat's awesome, but so my fireworks popping off is my son. Everything for a reason, eh? Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I listen to people speak in different wherever, right? Or we talked about this a couple weeks ago in a live stream where I can be in public and I can hear how a woman speaks to her man and vice versa. But usually the women are really bitchy and yucky in stores. I don't know why. It's just a thing, but like, you didn't get the right thing, or that's not what I told you to do, and how people speak to their partners, or how people speak so flippantly about certain things of their life, and it's like, man, you would not be speaking like this if you had lived an isolated life for so many fucking years, and you'd have gratitude, right? When you had everything fucking stripped away and nothing comes to replace, the gratitude for anything that's consistent after is it's there's not even words for it, right? To the point where I'm almost excessively cheesy or excessively so full of just like respect or awe and wonder and don't want to put someone down or make somebody feel like shit. I just want to elevate, 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 right? Anyways. Guys still hear me? Alex says, I saw the homelessness in Hungary, not Romania, and rather not that way. It's a very sad thing. Yeah. Yeah, I could not bring myself to film certain things at all. At all. There's one certain man this winter where I literally looked at Lily and said, I can't do it. I can't do it again. If I see him again, I gotta bring him home. I can't do it again. I can't just give him, half a pack of smokes and a lighter and fucking $20. If we see him again, I'm bringing him home. He can't hurt us. He's like fucking, you know what I mean? He can't hurt us. I have never, right? I don't know anything about this life, this world, and certain things, and I don't know if he made it through the winter. I never saw him. I've never seen him again. And I remember there was a night where it was so cold and so yucky, and I was just like screaming inside of me to God, like, just send somebody, right? I can't go out and know maybe what I can do, but just send somebody. Tell them to come knock on the door. If you send them, then I know it's fine, right? That thing of survivor guilt kind of PTSD where where a lot of people, like, they lived experiences where a lot of people passed away on their job sites, and those were always the times that they were off work, or it was like the guy that they switched shifts with, and that feeling of it, it could be me, it could have been me, but it wasn't me. Like, the gratitude to have this place without the car has been so big this year, right? There are times where it was cold and it was windy and our windows weren't rattling because next door was a shithole a certain way. The windows rattled all the time. We couldn't take a hot shower, right? To be here in this, right? The brick house. There's a reason that story with the 3 little pegs. The security inside the brick house is different. Everything doesn't feel like it's like, you know, this big rolling trash can that's gonna like blow away. I thought I would pull just one card. Sometimes it's like somebody's rolling their eyes going, every time Jen says she's only pulling one card, you should see how long she pulls cards after. But I mean it. We'll see. And the same card that came up yesterday. So that's special. $39 clan animal totem claiming. Raw Annie D. I'm gonna make a cheese sandwich, I think. Yummy. The Indigenous clan system helps us to identify what responsibilities each of us has in building and maintaining community. It's an important part of our identity. Animal spirit medicine represents each clan with a different animal, representing families and nations. This card is asking you to remember that you are here for a particular purpose. It's time to step into clarity and refinement. Remember, you cannot be and do all things. When we honor our unique soul presence and that of another, we can rise together. You're gifted with unique medicine. This card asks you to claim it with the help of an animal totem. What animal is it that reminds you of how you move in the world? Or is there an animal that comes to you in your dreams or visions? The animal that appears asks you to accept your role upon this planet so you might rise in your medicine. When we follow our path and release doubt of why we are here, we stand in our own sacred resonance. As you do this, there's no room for comparison, judgment, envy, or jealousy. Clan medicine is here for you to walk in integrity with what you are here to do. With your animal totem at your side, you're able to stay in your own lane with clarity, alignment, and fearless knowing. Well, dude, the syncs lately have been crazy messages in almost all things. Yup. Same. Yes, Michelle, or the one who survived the plane crash, that kind of thing. Yeah. That way, I think they should make their homeless camps at the banks. Oh, sweetie, the closer that they are to the banks, the more that they get shuffled away somewhere else. Right? For real. I think sometimes what's the most fucked up or hardest thing to conceive is there's empty buildings and there's places people could be sleeping and safe. There's plenty of empty buildings, especially after COVID, right? The wipeout of mom and pop grocery stores, restaurants, small little businesses that, you know, they were doing okay. They were doing good. But after, you know, years of dilly-dallying, take this, take that, do this, do that, mask, no mask, you can only have 2 people in the store, you can only have 3, you can only do this. There's empty buildings and empty space everywhere, right? So there's not actually a homeless crisis. There's just the crisis of who cares, right? Somebody who has an empty building and already it's paid off, for example, you know, the possibility of finding 3 to 5 people with certain skills and right manifesting the building to be safe of code and blah 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 so that 20-30 people have a safe place to sleep, you know, it's possible. It's possible like today to start plans and within a certain amount of time, right? And then you got that perspective of you put a bunch of people together and then how they're going to be and responsibility and It's like Elon Musk, right? Like he says, I got all the money in the world. It doesn't help if I help other people. I'd rather like fucking send rockets up to blow up in space, right? Well, it's really cool in theory that you have all this money and you think that if you actually help people and build shelters, build places that had like safe accommodations, that people weren't just getting fucking drugged up and you know what I mean, all that shit, that within, a year and a half, the whole world population would be fine. That's it. It's so fucking simple. Alex, for $20,000 you buy an apartment in Romania. No wonder there's no homelessness here. Yeah. And one of the things that's happening, because I am Northeast Ontario and Quebec, the land here is being bought out, right? Those small houses, the small farms, the small things, a lot got bought out by big companies. And a lot of the stuff that's left, there is the resurgence of people who are like looking for places in the middle of nowhere to live. And so, anyways, I'm gonna stop. Thank you guys. That was a big test. Testing. Um, I'll pop back in when I'm ready or when I have a flow. And that's it. Have a good one.